indie movie about portals and Christmas. Sure. Portal Runner is brought to us by director Cornelia de Ree and stars Elise Seberle, Sloan Morgan Siegel, and Brian S. Lewis. 15-year-old Nolan is blessed with the ability to travel to parallel worlds and cursed to be chased through them by a monstrous evil. When he gets stuck in a parallel world with a sister he's never met, he must make allies and dig deep to destroy the creature before it destroys him. So Portal Runner is a little indie flick with a high concept. Now the movie's not just this guy like going from world to world to world. We get some of that, but a lot of the movie is just about this family and him coming into it and them not knowing that it's not the Nolan that they know. It takes place on Christmas of 1999, and while this date and setting isn't really like central to the story, it did give the movie a lot of character. If you live through that time period, this movie's gonna seem really familiar to you. Everybody is talking about Y2K and everybody's getting ready for the end of the world. And they bring up a lot of stuff that was hot in 1999. Like when it shows them on the internet and chat rooms and stuff, I mean, it's kind of funny, but at the same time, that is how it was. They talk about like the Dreamcast and stuff like that and like how it's so hot. I mean, where's that thing at now? AOL, picking up the phone and hearing that pig screech and like, get off the internet, I'm trying to use the phone, all that stuff. It's really neat. And while some of it definitely is nostalgia bait, it was entertaining nostalgia bait. And it really made me feel like, yeah, this is taking place in 1999. Does the time period have anything to do with the movie really? Does it make a difference? Not really, but it was entertaining nonetheless. While the intrigue of why he's able to travel through these portals and who this individual is that's coming after him and how long he has and trying to figure out how to defeat this monster is really interesting in this movie. Another really interesting piece of the film was the family and all of their interaction. I really enjoyed seeing this family and just the little interactions they have throughout the film that really don't have anything to do with portals or any of that. It seemed pretty genuine, and the movie has a healthy dose of honest family comedy. While there are some more dramatic beats to the film, especially closer to the end, for the most part, the movie maintains a pretty jovial tone. I found the story overall to be really interesting and entertaining, and it moves at a lightning fast pace. This is not a long movie. In fact, this is a pretty damn short movie. It's only about an hour and 15 minutes long, but it was just the right length. I think many filmmakers would have wanted to stretch things out to get closer to like say an hour and a half, but that wouldn't have done the story any good. I was okay with this movie being only an hour and 15 minutes. They told the story they wanted to tell, and they told it in a very effective, entertaining way. And once we find out why all this is going on and what's actually taking place, it is more or less a pretty satisfying answer to all these questions. Now that being said, the ending of the movie isn't gonna set right with everybody. It definitely leaves things open for something else. That, and I got the feeling that they wanted to do more, but were unable to with the budget that they had. And while, yeah, I'd love to have seen more from this ending because it does kind of cut things off a bit at a point, I'm going to trust in their judgment to cut it off where they did and to leave that bit of mystique to things, because most likely they did that because if they had tried to push it any further, it wouldn't have worked out so hot. The ending does leave you wanting a bit more. It makes you feel like you missed something that was supposed to be there. But it was still entertaining, and it does more or less give us an ending to this story that it started. Now, how satisfying that ending will be for some people, that's a whole nother story. Our performances overall are pretty good. They're not anything mind-blowing, but they absolutely serve their purpose. Nobody's terrible or anything. There's a bit of delivery here or there that's a little bit stiff, but for the most part, these are all pretty enjoyable, solid performances. Now, while this little indie sci-fi flick does have a high concept and there are special effects used, you can tell that they didn't have all the money in the world, so they are used sparingly. That, and they use a lot of camera trickery to fool you into thinking you're seeing things happen that you don't actually see. We do get some special effects here, but for the most part, they never go beyond what they're capable of doing. The effects that we get for the most part are pretty good. Do they look like digital effects? Of course they do. They're fucking portals and mirrors, but they still look like good digital effects. We get a couple of other effects concerning like some smoke and some other like particle effects that look slightly suspect, but none of it ever looks so bad that it pulls you out. They actually use a lot of creative camera work and flashing of lights and practical measures to simulate this portal travel that we get in the film a good portion of the time. They don't always show the portal, but you still get the experience of him going through these portals. It was a really creative use of camera work in order to give us that sensation that he has gone from place to place. This is a pretty good looking little movie overall and very solidly made, and it scratches that sci-fi itch that I get every now and then. Guys, Portal Runner was a pretty entertaining ride. Yeah, I know that this review is pretty short, but hey, short review for a short movie. It's got some solid performances, it looks pretty good, especially for the money that they had, and the story is creative and entertaining. The ending may leave you wanting a bit more and not satisfy everybody, but overall, this was a pretty entertaining sci-fi flick, and is absolutely worth streaming.
Across the street.
I had a surprisingly good time with Portal Runner. It was a surprisingly short time, but it was still a surprisingly good time. And it came this close to me saying it was worth a rent. Had the ending given us just a bit more, I probably would have gone that route. But as it stands, if you're looking for a creative, entertaining little sci-fi flick for the night, then check out Portal Runner, and I think you're gonna have a pretty good time. So there it is, guys, my review of Portal Runner. If you enjoyed and want more content like this, hit that subscribe button and help my little channel grow. If you want to help out the channel, check out my Patreon in the description below and become a jarhead and get some of the awesome benefits that go along with that, like these guys, and possibly join my top tier and become a bad motherfucker like my man Greg C and Dragon Con. If you liked what I had to say, give me a like. If not, let me know in the comments below why. And as always, stay sexy, Selma! So in gathering visual material for this review to show you guys in the review, I came across this poster. And I gotta say that this is not a very good representation of the movie. However, I kinda like this poster because it gives me like this early to mid 1990s straight to video erotic thriller vibe. I mean, look at it. It looks like the name should be like Portal Heat, Erotic Runner, or something like that. I don't know. It just looks like a fucking erotic thriller poster. And I kinda love it.